Well, I mean, I think it wasn't all rainbows and puppy dogs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was. We had some. You know, he did a tremendous job taking care of the ball, and then we had our last spring scrimmage, and he turned it over twice. You know, and so, but the good thing was, you know, and again, this is what you want from young players, and this is what I want for my daughters, and this is what I want for my 9-year-old son, is when he makes a mistake, you want him to come over and say, okay, not get mad about it, but say, okay, here's what I did wrong, here's why I made that mistake, and here's what I'm going to do to correct it, and it's not going to happen again. And so I was really thankful that we turned the ball over twice in our last spring scrimmage, because it gave us some coaching points, and we really hadn't done that in the previous 14 practices. I think we had one turnover in the other 14 practices. So it was good. It was good to see, and you know, you learn from mistakes, and that's the only way you can get better. And I'd rather make them in practice 15 than I would in game 1 against North Carolina.
On that note,
Yep.
good time for 2 more.
Okay.
When it comes to the amount of freedom and leverage
Yeah.
how does that process go?
Yeah, that's going to depend on, you know, how things go. You know, I think that the good thing we love about him is his self-awareness. And what I mean by that is his understanding of his ability. Hey, look, I can do these things. There's a risk associated with doing them, and I choose not to do it. You know, and then there are other times where you need to take the risk. And I think being able to tell the difference between the two is kind of what makes great quarterbacks great. And he's incredibly smart, incredibly bright, like I said, incredibly self-aware. So as he kind of checks those boxes, then we'll continue to give him more and more freedom, you know, as he proves that he can handle it.
Coach, yesterday, Joey McGuire said Big 12 not only needs to get into the CFP,
Yep.
it needs to win games.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, you've done that.
Yeah.
You've won a game in the CFP.
Yeah.
What's it take, and can the Big 12 get it done?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. I think one thing that's interesting sometimes is the narrative in 22. I mean, we beat Michigan in the semifinals. Michigan lost 1 game in 2 years, and that was to us. Okay, that was a very good Michigan team, a team full of NFL players, and a team, again, that lost 1 game in 2 years. So I think somehow there's this narrative out there that maybe TCU didn't deserve to be in the national championship game. Well, I think we did, because I think we beat a very good football team. Now, we got our tails kicked in the championship game, but we got there. And so my point of saying that is that, you know, teams have been close. Arizona State had Texas on the ropes 2 years ago. You know, we've been close, and we just need to break through. Now, the one thing that needs to happen is, and I think it probably would have happened this year, had BYU gotten in, you know, I like BYU's chances in their first playoff game. You know, I mean, I think that was a team that when you look back at it, you're going to look back and go, how in the world did we not let these guys in? They lost to Texas Tech twice, a really good football team. I mean, they deserve to be in the playoff. No ifs, ands, or buts. Had that happened, I have no doubt them playing in a first-round game, it probably would have proved to be good for the conference. And so, like anything else, we just got to get more teams, got to give them more chances, more opportunities. I think we'll like the result. We just got to get more teams in the playoff.
Last one for me.
Yep.
You've been an advocate of 5 for 5
Yep.
for quite a few years.
Love it.
How do you feel now?
Yeah, I love it. I think it makes sense, you know. And, you know, I think the one thing that I'd hope that we get to is the one-time transfer, you know, because not so I can control the players and where they want to go. So actually the hope is that some of them may actually graduate from college, okay? Because what's happening right now is this. If you're a player, you go to 4 different schools, okay? All these schools are going to find a way to get you into school, progress for your degree. They're going to count hours. They're going to get you in. Well, when you're going to finish in the fall, and now you're probably going to be 40 hours short of graduation. Okay, so guess what? You've made a little bit of money that you probably, you paid 40% of it in taxes. You probably, bought a car or whatever you're going to do. Well, that money is going to be gone quickly. Okay? Well, that kid's going to be stuck without a college degree for the rest of his life. Okay, and so what's a degree worth? A lot more than what a guy can make playing football for 4 years. How does that affect his state of mind when he doesn't have a degree and his highest earning years in his life or when he's 18 years old? I mean, how would that affect your self-esteem if you woke up every day and say, you know what, I made more money when I was 18 years old than I do now that I'm 40 years old? I mean, what does that do to your mental health? What kind of impact does that have on your life and your future and all of these things? And I'm all about players having opportunities. I want them to have every opportunity available to them. But just like as adults, we have to protect ourselves from ourselves sometimes. I think as adults, we are supposed to protect young people and look out for them the best that we can. 4 schools in 4 years is not good for somebody. It's just not. And so we've got to figure out a different way of doing it. And I want the players to earn as much as they potentially can earn. They've deserved it for the last 30 years. Should have happened a long time ago. But I also want them to get a degree. I want them to graduate. I want them to have to have opportunities when football's over. You guys all know the statistics. 1.5% make a living playing football of Power 4 players. 1.5%. The other, it's 6 of them. 6% play 1 game in the NFL. And so, what about the other 98.5% guys? We have to look out for them. We got to do something that addresses this. I don't think the current model is good, and I don't think it's good because I think in 4 or 5 years we're going to look back at this time and go, look at these graduation rates. Oh, by the way, which was the last time anybody said the word graduation rate or APR? And again, I think that as adults we're supposed to look out for these guys, and in some ways it's going back to the old model of college football. You ride these horses as much as you can ride them, and then you kick them to the curb when you're done with them. And I'm afraid that's kind of what's happening to these young people now, and I don't think it's a good thing, and I think it's going to, I think we're going to look back and regret a lot of these things that we've done.
Thanks, Chip.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.